Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on the Prelude a little bit more. Hopefully we can get this thing basically buttoned up. So I made some progress yesterday. I didn't film it. I was just in the mood to try and knock some stuff out. I knocked out the EK hatch over the weekend, which was a buddy's car. That video should be going up, I'm assuming probably before this one. I don't know. I usually just like film stuff, throw my SD cards next to my computer, and then I just kind of grab them as I go, so I don't always remember which video order I'm doing. But actually, let me show you the video, or the progress I made yesterday. So if you guys remember, if you guys watched the last update on this car, I have two parts out so far. I had made the bumper bar, I had done the intercooler setup, but I needed to finish the hot side, and that's what I did yesterday. Let me show you. So I was waiting for the guy to send me the 2.5 to 3 inch coupler that comes off the turbo to go to the charge pipe or whatever. So he finally sent it finally arrived, and let me tell you, this took me some time to make, probably like 2 hours or something like that, because this is very snug. So obviously turbo back there does quite the sharp turn out of the coupler right here, barely clears the headlight by like I'd say an 1/8 inch or so, and then same as the power steering line right down here. So very snug, and I'm getting pretty, I'm stoked. My my aluminum welds are starting to get better and better, at least on the pipe and stuff, so I'm really proud of that. And then we also got the radiator hoses hooked up. He did send those. I had to shorten this one a little bit because of moving the radiator. I still don't like how long it is, but it'll work just fine. Lower hose is pretty much perfect. He did send me the power steering bracket, and I'm still waiting on him to send me some more 3.5 inch pipes. That way I can chop this and extend it up, because obviously that's not going to clear the hood. That doesn't even clear the valve cover. Are you kidding me? So in the meantime, only thing I really have to do for this at the moment today is modify the throttle cable bracket. So here's either a spare, I think that's a spare, so I'm going to modify this one. I just had it there so I didn't lose it, but you can see, I don't know why it is the way it is, but either it's the wrong bracket or this is the wrong throttle cable. Either way, I'm going to try and make this cable work. And by doing that, I need to extend it, so that way the cable tension is more that way. So, pretty straightforward. But he did send the little bezel piece, which this is the part that I'm slightly confused on. Because you can see, I mean, it looks, this looks dope, not gonna lie. But I feel like this is supposed to go up there more, something like that, because I feel like the vents obviously are supposed to go right here, because that looks like ducting to me. And then you know what that is? The clock right there. But see, I don't know Prelude, so I don't know where this goes, because he said it's supposed to replace the clock. It doesn't replace this whole thing, so that's where I'm slightly confused, because to me aesthetically it looks better up there, but what's gonna hold it from falling if there's no vents? And I don't even have any vents in here, like whatever that is. But I don't even know where that goes, unless that goes, see, oh, I think that goes there. Okay, yeah, what the heck is this? Okay, it's another one of those. All right, well, you know what? We're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna try and wire in these stupid gauges, because that's all that we're getting paid to do. So I've got to rip out this hack job wiring that this dude, he admitted that he half-assed wired this in to try and see if they worked. But he was also kind enough to leave me with no battery to test this stuff with, so I have to try and take one of my batteries out to find the fuses that I need. But then he also used these really crappy style butt connectors, and instead of just wiring it out on the floor to test it like a normal person, he was kind enough to route it all up in here and mix all the wires, so that way it's very, very difficult on me. Honestly, I'm over this entire car. It was supposed to be, literally if I had all the parts, I could have had this whole thing done in a week, but now it's going on 3 weeks or something like that. So at this point, I'm just making absolute garbage money on it, so I'm very upset. And the fact that the parts are just taking so long to show up, and then they're the wrong parts, makes me not want to take in a car like this ever again. So with that being said, I'm gonna just start cutting wires and start trying to plumb crap up. We're using the good old ATA circuits. I went and got some of those, so we're gonna try and tap in the fuse box. Hopefully he at least has his fuse panel, and then I'm just gonna find something that I know is a 12 volt, since there's no battery in here. And we're just gonna try and get this stuff wired up, because as of this moment, plumb brake booster, can't do that because of the shitty manifold. Replace injectors, still not gonna do anything, but smaller injectors are gonna be at least easier to try and get the base map set up on. Dump tube, need the V-band and the pipe don't have either of those. And the power steering stuff, don't have either of those. And doing the gauges right now. Let's get to work. So I don't know if I already mentioned that my mom's in town, but on note of that topic, I went to meet with her for dinner last night, and the only place really open out here right now because of all this COVID bullshit is like Waffle House. And I noticed when I went to my car last night, I took the Miata because it was just easily accessible and whatnot. I noticed when I got in my car, there was literally only one other table of people in the restaurant when we pulled up, and I parked, I think, either next to or a space away from the other car that was there because my mom got the hotel next to it and walked over. So the mirror, I noticed when I went to get in my car, this mirror right here was pushed into my window, and these mirrors on the Miata are very hard to move. It's a pain in the ass to adjust them, but that kind of threw me off guard. I thought somebody was just being a troll and just like smacked my mirror as they were walking by. I didn't see it till this morning, till I got in the sunlight because I wasn't paying attention last night. Somebody hit and ran my car. Look at this. Fat ass dent, crease, whatever you want to call it. This whole section is just one big dent, and then completely smeared the paint, rubbed it through or whatever, all the clear coat, down to the bare metal, down to the old paint, down to bare metal, chipped the paint here, somehow got it up here. I have no idea how they missed the flare, thankful they did, but somehow hit my wheel and also damaged my wheel now. Nothing crazy, but obviously still scuffed it. Took a little chip out of it right there, like road rash looking stuff. But yeah. So you bet your ass I just drove up to the Waffle House, and thankfully the manager on duty was really nice and really, obviously on my side because it happened in his lot. So because of legal reasons, he couldn't let me see the tapes. So he was going to look. It happened between like 7:30 and 9 o'clock-ish last night, but there was literally only one other person in the parking lot. So if they can't get anything on camera, they literally just, if they can't get his license plate, then I just pray that they freaking at least just look at the credit card receipts for that last, the last tab that was taken or whatever, and just match it up with the timestamp on the clip, because this is some serious bullcrap. I am so pissed. Like, words can't even describe it right now. This is the first, no, not the first. This happened to me when I was in high school too. But I don't even know. This sucks. People are so shitty. People suck. And if any of you ever do anything like this, you don't even know, you don't try and get a hold of the person, I genuinely hope you get your ass absolutely handed to you. Because I know if we can get whoever this was that damaged my car, that did all this, because now I have to replace the door, because I don't know if I can pull that, let alone, I don't want to work it with Bondo, and if somebody else is paying for it, you bet your ass I'm getting a new door, and I'm going to make sure I get as much money out of those douchebags as I can, because this is absolutely bullcrap. Hit and run, what kind of person does that? So stupid. So, all that crap aside, I'm still working on this stuff now. I got all the wires routed where I need them right here, so this is oil pressure, this is boost gauge, and this is AFR. So I got my gauges installed in here. Unfortunately, they only fit the one way because the one gauge is bigger. I don't know, you gotta trim the whatever. It's kind of cheap and eBay-ish. But I'm gonna put this together and then we're gonna wire this in. I do have, like I said, these added circuits. So basically all I'm gonna do is find a switch to 12 volt, because all of these, what's nice about the AEM stuff is it's all simple. You only need power and ground, and like switch power at that, so it's easy. That's where the added circuit comes in. So the added circuit, you can piggyback them all into the same connector to save space and wire, and then you just run that into the fuse box, and then the ground, you can just tee them all off at the same ground or whatever. And it's really simple, so it won't take me more than a few minutes, hopefully. I got them all wired in. I'm just gonna leave this panel as it sits because the kid, I'll let him figure out where he wants to or how he wants to mount it. But the wires are all cleaned up. Honestly, for that whole section of harness stuff, for the wideband and all the ECU crap, I just shoved it under the carpet because I don't want to touch what's going on under there, so it's under the carpet. As for up here, I just ran the ground to the hood latch bolt, and then I used number 4 for the fuse, 4 or 5 I think, the one for the power window motor. It should be a switch 12 volt, and if it's not, I just gotta switch it to a different fuse, but everything should be plumbed up, everything should work. Don't have a battery to test it, but it should be done. So we can scratch that off the list now. So I just cut the weird tip, whatever it's called, off. And I just added, I don't know, probably like 8 inches of material on here, 9 inches. So I'm gonna go test fit this on the car. If it clears the valve cover by a few inches, then it'll clear the hood just fine. And then I just gotta figure out how to cut the hood. I don't know if I have a hole saw big enough. Well, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that'll definitely clear. I might even have to trim an inch or 2 off, but thankfully it's too long, not too short. So I'm gonna just try and push down on the hood a little bit, see if I can't make a slight indentation on the fiberglass, so I know where to drill. Okay, I was able to fit my hand up there with a Sharpie. So, I have a 3-inch hole saw, but not a 3.5, so we're gonna have to do some hogging out. I was actually able to use just the hole saw. So, as you can see, it fits. Perfect. Good clearance all the way around. So, yeah, gonna call that good. Gotta put the O2 sensor back in though. So I'm out here, it's probably like a week after this last clip, and I'm working on putting the new injectors in. Just got the old ones out to find, well, one, I think the gas in this car is very, very old. Because you know how when you pour gas, it's kind of like a clearish color? Usually, well, this stuff is like green, and it doesn't smell like ethanol or anything crazy like that. It smells like normal pump gas, but stinks, and it doesn't look as good as it should. So I'm probably going to have to end up maybe draining the tank and putting some in or something when I even go to fire. But I'm trying to put these grams in. I don't know what these injectors are. They have a million numbers on here, but I don't know which one is the actual like CC size or flow size, whatever you want to say. So I know these grams are what, 1150s, I think they say right here. Yeah, 1150 cc's. So I want to say that they're smaller than these ones, because I thought he said these were like 2000s or something really stupid. But the only issue is that he's got this rye wire harness on here, and it works for these ones, but these grams have their own freaking plugs on them. So now I got to splice in these new plugs. Unfortunately, I hate doing this type of crap, but it is what it is. Should be pretty simple. I'm assuming the yellow on the harness, on Ryewire's harness, is probably ground, and then the orange is probably, well, this one's double yellow, so crap. Finger in some oil, rub it on there. I just have really bad luck with injectors tearing, and I saw somebody use motor oil one time, so I wanted to give it a shot. See if it really makes a difference. Oh, hoping for the best. So I got one. Get this third one on there. So I can't really tell if these are seating. I don't know, it's really hard to tell. The rail looks like it's all the way down there, so I think only thing I can do is when I go to prime it, check for fuel leaks. If it's leaking, add the seals back. But really quick, I'm gonna make a dump tube for him, just a really short one since the wastegate's already way down at the bottom of the turbo setup. So this is some extra Schedule 10 304 stainless pipe that I had, because like I said, I'm building my own turbo manifold for the Miata. Bought a bunch of this stuff. This is a little too big for me. I need 1.25 inches, so I got some 1.25 inches. I'm still waiting on my fixture to show up. But in the meantime, I guess this is just practice material and scrap, so I can use it for small jobs like this where he's got good quality manifold and stuff. So we'll give him a good quality dump tube. And yep, it's just what we're gonna do. Just a quick little S, and this will kick it right down beneath the core support and the subframe, front subframe. I'll weld it up. I can't bolt it to the car. I can test fit it on the car, but I can't bolt it there because I don't have the bolt for the V-band for this thing. I have to go to the hardware store and get something, but we can at least go test it. So we finally got a freaking battery for this car, so I can at least try and turn this thing, the key forward, trunk, right? Yeah. I'm gonna try and at least get the key turned forward, double check these gauges work. I still need to find a cable for this laptop. I'm gonna see if I have one laying around, but I don't know if I do. Okay, we got negative, positive. Let's hook this thing up. Honestly, not holding my breath that any of this is gonna work, but we'll see. Where's the keys? Oh, those are my keys. Don't want those on the ground. Okay. Of course, the steering wheel's locked. Nothing. So something's not hooked up. So I don't know what the hell this thing is, but whatever it is, it's definitely blown. I don't know what that piece is, so I'm assuming it's some sort of inline fuse. I'm gonna run back out to the store. So I'm gonna go do that and try and find one and be right back. Hopefully somebody has one. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, something. So I was digging in the trunk. I found this thing. I've been talking to KRX Kid on Instagram. He's been a huge help. And he was just kind of, I don't do wiring. If you guys are regular watchers, I always complain about doing wiring. And I just am very, very intimidated by it. And I don't fully understand it. Some things I can do, like I can wire in the gauges. That's pretty straightforward. But when it comes to powering in a car like this, stuff freaks me out because this is a lot of just weird. But anyway, found this in the trunk, so he told me try this. It's got like an electronic fuse or whatever, like built-in breaker, so it'll blow itself and whatever. I don't know. We'll try this. Let's plug this in really quick, see if we can get power to the car. If we can get power to the car, I'm gonna try and find a cable, plug the ECU in. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, let's see what happens. Nothing. Okay, I just flipped the switch. I guess I had it the wrong way, and we got power. Small step for me. Now, let's try and find that cable. So I found that my printer cable actually works. So I'm gonna try and see if I can't modify this tune at all, just to change the injectors. So I only had the version for K-Pro, so now I'm downloading the S300, because I'm pretty sure that's what the guy has. S300 Manager, whatever you call it. So I'm trying to minimize all this background jazz. Okay, well, we're in. I don't know if I did this right. It was telling me that it needs to be registered, so I'm assuming he just, like, this is a fresh on data. So I had to download the S300, like I said, but it let me view the tune that was on there, so I was able to get to the injector settings, and I changed the settings to 1150 cc's instead of the 220s that were in there, and I changed the dead times to what Grams has on there. On their website for just like the idle stuff, the bass, like first, whatever you call it. I guess the only thing I can try and do now is crank it. Make sure everything is out of the way. There's no alternator cable hooked up, so if I can just get it to fire, then that's a start. So once it fires, then I know just finish up these last few little tiny things on it, and then we can send this thing off. Try again. Oh, you bastard. So it's time for me to end this video off. Prelude ran for a couple seconds. It turns out I did contact the owner, and it's sitting on ethanol right now. It's got E85 in the tank, which is part of the reason why I can't get it to fire, because it's been sitting there for quite a little bit, and I've never run ethanol, so I don't know exactly the issues with it. But everybody I know that has ran ethanol or runs ethanol always says not to let it sit for a while, and it's been sitting for a couple months. But as for the tune, I pulled the tune that was on the computer, and it was already kind of something, I forget exactly what it was titled, but I want to say it was like B20 VTEC or H22 Turbo something with like, but I don't know, it should have at least cranked over and fired and held idle. So I'm assuming it's just a fuel related issue, and maybe some fuel tuning. So I did change the injector sizing and stuff in the tune, but obviously my experience doesn't go much past that. But as of right now, the car should be coming to get picked up this week. I did everything I could to it, and this is one of those things where as much as I wanted to put my best work into it, I was limited because of just the lack thereof parts and workspace and all that stuff. So hopefully car gets picked up this week and we can get that thing out of here, and then we can move on to the next thing. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below if you're new to the channel. Hopefully you consider subscribing if you want to help support the channel. I do have a Patreon, also got new merch and long sleeve t-shirts, stickers, all in the big cartel. But yeah, anyways guys, hopefully this thing gets kicked out of here this week and we can work on something else. Anyways, do what you love, forget about the rest, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.